right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Slowburn Show, episode number 13, where we got Curtis Blaydes versus Sergey Pavlovich this weekend. Not very too many stars on this one, but I think the main event's good. I've seen Curtis Blaydes is the only main event fighter that I've ever seen fight in person. I went to UFC Columbus, March 2022, and it was a good time. And Curtis knocked out Chris Dawkins at that event, and I'm excited to see what he does this weekend. But we'll get into that a little bit later. I have some MMA topics to go over first, and the first one is Volkanovski turned down a fight with Islam Makhachev for the rematch. And I know hearing that at first you might think he's trying to duck the rematch, but the reason why is because Islam wanted to fight later in the year and Volk wanted to stay active. He didn't want to take a long break and wait until the end of the year. So he's going to defend his 45 belt against the interim champ, Yair Rodriguez, coming up. What date is that set for? Do you know?
Oh, isn't it June?
I think it's sometime this summer. But I like that. I like
Yeah.
that he wants to stay active. What do you think?
I'm so for staying active. I'm tired of. I love championship fights. I'm tired of you get your belt and you don't fight for another year. Like when's the last time Henry or not Henry? Aljamain Sterling fought.
He
That was
beat
back in
T.J. Dillashaw. Me and you watched it when Sean
yeah. That
O'Malley
was back
fought
in
Peter Yan.
October.
Yeah, think about that
Long ass
though.
time ago.
They're about to fight May 6th, and uh, Sean O'Malley hasn't fought since then. So they're about to fight. Aljo's about to fight, and Sean O'Malley's going to wait even longer than that to wait for the title shot next. So he's in the same boat. Like he hasn't fought in forever. He's choosing to wait and for a title shot, and usually the UFC doesn't like that, but I guess they're letting it fly with him. Money talks.
Yeah, I don't know. I still feel like that really wasn't a fight versus T.J. Dillashaw because he had
Right.
one arm.
Yeah.
So you got to think like it's been so long since he's like had a legit fight. Was it Peter
Yeah.
Yan was the last one, and that was in April of last year,
Yeah, and
something like that.
that one, a lot of people think that Peter Yan won that fight. I picked Aljo to win. I was
You
thinking,
got the whole card right. I
yeah,
remember that.
Volkanovski fought Korean Zombie that night as well. Yeah, and I hit a 12 fighter parlay that night, and Aljo was a reason why it was such a big plus on it. I think I got like plus 60,000 odds on the parlay. But I only put 10 cents on it, so it didn't really hit for that much. It hit 10 cents
uh,
for $60. I think that's what I hit for. But I would,
Imagine $10.
yeah,
Odd.
would have been like 6K or something. Yeah. But Aljo was like a plus 330 that night, and I think a little bit of my bias got into it, just thinking that he won. I mean, I haven't went and rewatched their second fight, uh, like after the fact, but watching it firsthand, I thought he won the fight. But when I went into the gym at Phoenix MMA, a lot of people were saying that he lost. They thought he lost, but I do agree that he took the last two rounds off. But I thought Aljo won the first three, and
You're just laying on him.
yeah, just laying on him essentially. But the rules are so wishy-washy. It's hard for me to really determine what we're scoring and if grappling even matters at this point because it feels like it doesn't. It feels like a takedown means absolutely nothing in control time. But
Mm.
I think I agree in the fact that when you do take somebody down and you don't punch them, like I guess you can look at that as you really didn't do anything, but I know depending on how you take somebody down, like if you take somebody down how I do, like I like trying to slam the person, like trying to like
Mhm.
jolt them or knock the wind out of them when they hit the mat when I'm in a fight. But if you're just like doing these single leg trips and stuff and not really like uh picking your opponent off their feet and slamming them and then they get right back up, I can see why the judges will say that you didn't win the exchange that was going on there, or you're losing that if they get up and you do no damage, or if it's neutral, maybe not that you're losing. But
Yeah. Going back to what you said, I don't like. I understand why Islam's doing it because like he wants to fight Volk again, but then I just again you could look at it like he thinks he's gonna win again, so he's just gonna take his time, get his fights, Get his money.
Yeah. Who do you
I'm all
think
for getting your
Islam's
money,
gonna
but-
fight now? Who would
Say
Islam
what?
fight? Who's Islam gonna fight now? Is he gonna fight
What do
Poirier?
you, I mean, who was Oliveira supposed to fight?
Beneil?
Law?
They.
Benil?
Yeah, and that fight's made. That fight's gonna be.
I say you probably just go ahead and give Benil the fight. To be honest,
But they're lined up to fight, so they can't. Beneil's got to fight with Charles.
I thought Charles got hurt. Like I had to pull out.
They did, but they just rescheduled it, and now they're
Oh.
fighting on the co-main at the Nunes Pena card in Canada.
I just don't think you give who is it? I don't think you give Poirier, Gaethje, or Oliveira another chance like just yet.
So
Like they've literally just been fighting each other.
let's look at the 155-pound rankings, and let's look at who's in the top 5. Because I would like to see. I don't know who he's gonna fight, to be real. So number 1 contender on the rankings is Charles Oliveira, but he's fighting Beneil.
You got Rafael
Fiziev, but he just lost to Gaethje.
Yeah, I mean,
There's Michael Chandler.
top 10 is literally the same people it's been forever.
I mean, there's Michael Chandler, but he lost to Dustin Poirier. I bet that's what's coming next. I think Poirier's gonna get another title shot. He's gonna be
Another
fighting.
fight against Islam.
Yeah, I think that's what's
I mean,
gonna happen.
Didn't Poirier fight Khabib?
Yeah, and he got choked out in Abu Dhabi.
Mhm.
I think that's what's gonna happen.
I mean, I feel like if they want to keep Islam like just an easy title, just run, you just feed him the same people Khabib fought, and he'll do the same thing Khabib did.
You think so?
I just feel like that's what if they really want that to go again, they'll just literally feed him Gaethje, Chandler, Poirier, and then maybe even Oliveira again.
Do you think Dustin,
yeah.
Dustin in his mind thinks he can beat Islam? Do you think he actually can get it done?
I think there's always a chance with those people that I just said, but it's just like I don't know. I just feel like all those 4 fighting each other all the time. You gotta get some new faces in there.
That's what it feels like with all the divisions, though. Like Adesanya and Pierre have been fighting, and then Usman and Edwards, they fought their matches back to back. Volkanovski and Holloway, Piron and Aljo, Figueiredo and Moreno. Like it feels like in all these divisions, besides like heavyweight and light heavyweight, everybody's been fighting. Like there's been a lot of rematches going on lately.
I'd say the next person to fight Islam is the winner, like Oliveira versus Beneil. I just feel like Oliveira never got his like immediate rematch. Did he get his rematch?
Against
No,
who?
he didn't. Yeah, Islam. He didn't get his Islam
No,
rematch.
he didn't.
I don't think he deserved
They
it.
did the
I think you give.
Islam's first title defense was against Volk. So, did you see that Burns called out Dustin Poirier?
Yeah, I saw they're fighting I saw Burns and Bilal are fighting today at 170.
I thought it was. I posted like I didn't really make a meme, but a meme type thing on my story where I was like, Gilbert was saying I want a title shot or I'm leaving after beating Jorge Masvidal. He said, or just cut me loose, and then you see that he gets a fight with Bilal Muhammad now for a number 1 contender spot. So that's clearly not what's going on. That was what my next topic was about that fight, but specifically that it's on a 5-week turnaround for Gilbert. They're going to be fighting May 6th. They're going to be fighting on May 6th, which is
it's like
Cejudo and Henry.
2 weeks.
I mean, Cejudo and Aljo.
Is that 2 weeks?
May 6th? Yeah, it's like 2 weeks.
Yeah, next Saturday is the 29th.
Yeah, so they both signed that fight on like 2 weeks' notice, so both of them are pretty badass for that.
I'm always excited. I like Gilbert Burns, and I've seen like one of Bilal's fight, and I like both of them, and I think those are like good they're not up and comers, but I think they're not the high names you hear all the time, so I think it'll be a good fight for people like to.
The casuals don't know them, but the hardcores love this fight. And it's a 5-rounder. It's going to be a co-main 5-rounder. So what's crazy to me is like I don't really understand why they did that, because you're both taking the fight on 2 weeks' notice, and y'all both want to beat each other up for 2 extra rounds. Like, why would y'all want to do that damage on y'all's body when?
Especially Gilbert just fought.
Yeah, that for one, and you're gonna have to cut weight back down to 70. And not only that, like your next fight, if you win that, it's gonna be for the title. So like you're trying to just put extra damage on you for your first title shot, or for Muhammad to be his first, but Gilbert to be his second title shot. But You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you want to do that to yourself? Both of them, and both of them, Dana White said both of them wanted 5 rounds. Like, both are dummies to me. If you ask me,
I think it just kind of solidifies like, hey, give us the title shot next after this
yeah,
fight. I think it's basically really what it is.
that's why they did the 5 rounders.
I feel like just to make sure.
I think it's honestly because Jorge and Gilbert just did a 3 rounder in the co-main event, and they Jorge gets pay-per-view even when he's not the main event. So like, it just doesn't
Jorge's
make
gone.
it just doesn't make sense to me why they both want to do, even with that. It might make it more solidified that they're the number one contender, like it's a number one contender fight instead of. But they should label it that, like they should like promote it that
The
way.
number one contender fight
Yeah,
instead of
they
just.
never say that.
Yeah.
It's just always like up in the air if it is or not. It should be
I got a
like,
question. Where is Kamzat?
I don't know what he's doing. He's going to 85 though. That's his next thing. Like he
He's
want.
not. Oh, okay. I thought he was gonna get like one more in 70.
No, he's going to 85 now. So I think they're looking. I mean, I like to see Hamzat versus Piera. That'd be the first. But I mean, that would be at 205 now because Alex said his next fight would be at 205. But what if Kamzat was like, I'm going to 205 as well, just to beat you up? I would like to see that. Or
I wish he would have got a
Kamzat.
title shot at 70. I think he could have beat Usman, and then I think he could have definitely beat Leon.
Yeah, I think he could too. I just don't think he can make 170.
Yeah, that's always the thing with these bigger guys.
Yeah.
The weight bullies.
Yeah. Do you have any non-MMA topics?
Well, it was like, it's not technically a non-MMA, but do you know about like the creator clash?
No, I don't know what that is.
So it's literally just like YouTubers that like train to do boxing. Like it's not just these guys are like, hey, let's go box. It's like these big YouTubers go train for like 6 weeks or something like that, and they box each other.
Oh my
And
god.
I know they had some like chess boxing events too.
Yeah.
So literally they play a 5-minute round of chess, 3 minutes of boxing, 5 chess, 3 boxing, 5 chess.
Man, that
It's
would
a
be
5-round
brutal.
fight.
I would piece them up, and then when we're doing chess moves, I would just be talking shit. Like I just piece
Well,
you.
I think they have a timer on the clock on the chess. So
Right.
it'd be like 10 minutes total, but like 5
You
per
still talk
round.
shit though. Like in what the boxer, you do the boxer round, you piece them up. No matter if you're losing the chess game or not, you just start talking shit to them when
That's
you're
what
playing chess.
I know. This was the second one. So the last one they did, there was this one girl. She was like so there's like levels in chess, and this person was like a level above her. She was just beating the shit out of her, but she lost the
Jeez.
chess.
Ah, dang. But at least you beat
But
her
if you
ass.
lose chess, you lose boxing, like the whole match.
Yeah. So it's mainly based on the chess, not the boxing at all. You can't like
You
wait.
can get knocked out. You can get knocked out. It's like 3 knockdowns and it's over. But
Oh, so if you
like
obviously,
checkmated or run out of time.
yeah, but
Chess.
it's not like scored by a decision. Like if it's 3 rounds of chess and 3 rounds of boxing, it's not like if you won a chess round and you won a boxing round, it's not tied.
Well, no, they do a decision at the end.
So it is like that probably.
So there's always chess rounds. It's 5 minutes, 3 minutes or some shit. It's like once the 3 minutes is over, you fight for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Once those 3 minutes, you chess for 3 minutes, and then it ends at the 5th round, and they'll be like, all right, this is who won.
Jeez.
I don't know how they score it, but I think it's cool seeing.
I actually want to watch that. That's way better than this power slap shit. That sounds more interesting than that.
Yeah, I don't like the power slapping.
You like it?
I don't.
Oh, I was about to say I don't like it either.
Slapping each other, and,
yeah.
I mean, I feel like people get way more hurt doing that than MMA, because you're just constantly just same spot.
You definitely get more head trauma. I don't know if you get more hurt, but I guess if you consider that.
I just see.
Yeah, just welts on people's face.
And then how people get knocked out too. They're just like standing on the stage.
Yeah.
They're not on like canvas.
Yeah, and I feel like it's basically if you win the coin toss and you're at the heavier weight class, like you essentially win at that point because you're gonna knock him out with one free shot to his fucking chin when he get no defense. It's not a martial art because you don't get to defend yourself in any way. So it's just like a game essentially, like a party game that's live on television.
Ridiculous.
The only other MMA topic that I have is this Garcia, Ryan
The
Garcia
Tank.
versus Tank fight. Are you into that at all?
Um, well, not really, but like I just started playing this boxing game,
Yeah,
Undisputed.
yeah.
I'm learning how to piece people up in combos and shit.
Have you been
So
doing
I
good?
like boxing. I love boxing. I just don't like the whole politicking of boxing.
Yeah, it's definitely weird when it comes to
I just want to see the best people fight the best people.
the UFC
I
does a
ain't
good job
bad
of
stat padding.
the UFC does a good job of that, and I think Bellator does as well. They do a good job of making sure the best people fight the best people. And I think they're out of all the combat sports uh organizations when it comes to any of them like jiu-jitsu, wrestling, or kickboxing, boxing, I think the UFC and Bellator and these little organizations like PFL and One, they show the it's like a true fight, true fair fight in a sense. I mean, there's always gonna be those wishy-washy ones like Jorge versus Gilbert. Like we all knew that Jorge probably should not be in there with a guy
Or
that good.
Nate versus Kamzat. I don't
That
think that
too.
would have been a fair fight.
Yeah, that would have looked. That definitely would have looked. I don't know how that would have been actually, and we'll never know because we didn't get to see it. So
Yeah, I feel like it could have been over quick, or it could have been the craziest fight ever.
yeah, I have no clue. And now it makes me want to see it even more.
I wish that would. I don't know. That would have been so great.
And we talk about Nate Diaz and Jake Paul last week?
No, no. I think we might have like mentioned it, but
Who do you
no, we
think?
didn't.
Who do you think wins
We didn't even
that?
do one last week.
That's right.
You're in Atlanta.
That's right. So who do you think in that one?
I don't know. I think Jake Paul's he's only getting better because I don't know. I feel like as a YouTube and boxer, you don't really you start out at the bottom, so I feel like you can only get better. So I feel like he's only getting better. And then I mean I don't know. I like Nate. Everybody says he's not a good boxer because he was like all jiu-jitsu and whatnot, but I think he's got some hands. That's Stockton boxing.
Yeah, his simple 1-2, I think is what's gonna win the fight. I think his range is gonna be too much.
I mean, he pieced up McGregor. They were
Yep.
beating the shit out of each other.
I mean, but the only issue is that he's hittable, and
I mean, he's
Jake.
not getting knocked out.
You don't think so?
It's Nate Diaz.
That'd be crazy if he got knocked out like Ben or Tyrone got knocked out.
He's getting back up if he gets knocked out. He ain't stopping.
Well, if he gets knocked out, then he get. Dude, and people, I'd be doing that double bicep flex
no.
all the time. Yeah, just to like people be saying it's cringy, and now it just makes me want to do it even more, just because I know how annoying it would be looking.
He's got to bend the arms back and.
Oh, that's not how he does it though. He does it like this.
I'm just saying, next time you do it.
Bat wings.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I don't know. I think it'll be an entertaining fight because I mean, Nate's not afraid to throw with anybody. So
yeah. I think it'll come down to Nate beating him in the later rounds. But I do have a bias to this because Nate's one of my favorite fighters. He's like top 3 favorite fighters
he's
of
like
mine.
longer arms, right? And you saw what Tommy Fury did.
Yeah, if that lead hand game beat Jake in that, but I think he can do it. I think, and he might even embarrass him while he does it. You know how Nate can get. Both the Diaz brothers can get like that.
Well, he can't do that because he's got the gloves
No,
on.
but he could do a lot of shit. Like to taunt him in there.
Okay, honestly, I'm honestly excited for that one.
I'm thinking about it's in August. It's August 6th. I'm thinking about going. I signed up for
Really?
yeah, I'm thinking about going.
There's lottery for it.
What?
Is there like a lottery for it? Like
No.
you get like picked?
No.
You said you signed up for it.
No, I'm thinking about going. I signed up for a little newsletter that'll like send me the pre-sale link when when the tickets first come out.
I'll go to it. I want to go to it.
Dude,
Sick.
yeah, we should. It's in San Antonio, Texas, and I got family out there and shit, so we
Oh
could
yeah.
we
That's
could
West Texas, right?
yeah, something like that. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
August 6th, and we can fucking do a vlog, fucking Slowburn Show on the road as well. First one, that should be the first one live. It's August 6th.
Well, will we be able to buy 2 tickets, or do I need to get the link too?
I'll have the link for when they go on sale. It said I think it said they wouldn't be on sale for another 30 days or something. So It'll be good. Anyways, you got any more non-MMA topics?
Not currently.
Well,
Currently.
then we can just move on to this weekend's card with Curtis Blaydes and Sergey Pavlovich, a huge motherfucking Russian. That dude should be back like thousands of years ago on like a ship at the front of it, like slaying people, slaughtering them. He's the Viking type character.
Was he the one that knocked out Derek Lewis and Bam Bam?
Yes, yeah.
That's a mean motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah. But Curtis is really good, man. Think about the only people Curtis has lost to are like super heavy punchers. Like he's like something in 3. I think he's like 17-3. They actually both might be 17-3. But the only 2 losses 3 losses Curtis Blaydes has is 2 losses to Francis Ngannou and a loss to Derek Lewis.
Curtis is 17-3 and Sergey is 17-1.
Okay, they both have 17 wins, but Curtis has only lost to Derek Lewis and Francis Ngannou,
which are some fucking hitters.
Yeah, but Sergey is one of those guys. I guess we'll start from the main card and go down because we already talked so much about him.
Or the main event, or
the main event. That's what I meant. You know what I was saying. Who do you got?
I got Russian Bear.
Oh shit!
Dude, when I watched him against Derek Lewis, there was level. It looked like Derek Lewis was not even like who Derek Lewis. It did not even look like Derek Lewis should have been in there with him. Is how like crazy I thought it was.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be a crazy fight, to be real. I think it's gonna be like an actual like barn burner heavyweight fight where
I got a fourth round knockout, but I got mine.
For who? Sergey?
For Sergey, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I think it's going to be one of those where it's like it goes into the later rounds and they're heavyweights, so they're going to be tired as fuck, just moving slow as hell. But then someone's going to land that boom and go down. Yeah. But I'm going to take Curtis on this one. And I don't necessarily have like a specific reason of why I think he's going to win. I just know how good Curtis is. And I know his last fight against Tom Aspinall was a bit of a weird one. It ended so quick with Tom
he messed his knee up.
Yeah, he like blew his knee out like immediately.
It was back.
Yeah, something. But I think Curtis is he's really good, and like I was saying earlier, he's only lost to 2 individuals, and both of them were unbelievably powerful guys. So I'm gonna take Curtis. And you're going to take Sergey. Now we got Brad Tavares versus Bruno Silva. Who you got in that one?
I got Brad Tavares. I don't know why.
The American.
I don't know who these guys are. I've heard Tavares before.
Yeah, Tavares. I can't remember. I don't remember if he's fought John Jones or not. I could be wrong on that. I know Bruno Silva. He's fought Alex Pereira. And they went like all 3 rounds. But Silva has like some knockout type power. Like he has like I think 19 knockouts on his record. He's 22 wins, 19 knockouts. Never been knocked out, but he has 8 losses, 6 of them he was submitted. So he definitely shows a deficiency there, and Brad Tavares only has 2 subs.
I think I have it down as 2nd round knockout.
For who?
Brad Tavares.
Oh yeah. Well, we're gonna start off both the top of the main card going against each other because I'm gonna take Bruno Silva. But
never good, because these are my verdict picks.
Actually,
I suck at verdict.
Actually, you know what? No. I'm gonna change my mind. Speaking of that, and it's mainly because of the fact I just saw and what I just said about him having 8 losses and 6 of them by being subbed. And Brad Tavares, even though he only has 2 subs on his record in his whole pro career, I think if he's a smart game planner and he wants to win this fight, you don't stay striking with a dude that has 19 knockouts and has never been knocked out. I wouldn't do it, honestly, if I was game planning to fight that dude. So I'm going to actually take Brad Tavares, and I'm going to say he subs him. in like the first or second round.
I like that.
Now probably the people's main event. I think this, in my opinion, I'm more excited for this fight than any other fight. Bobby Green versus Jarrett Gordon. Who do you got in this one?
I got Bobby Green. I'll be honest. I didn't think Jared Gordon looked too hot against Patty.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Bobby Green.
Do you think he won that fight though?
I don't know. I think he probably won.
I want to go back and
Just 'cause of
rewatch
how
that
it was
one.
just a bad. I don't know. It wasn't a bad fight. It's just a boring fight.
I know Jarrett. He was landing a left hook quite often. And that's the only kind of visual that I can remember from that fight that
I don't know,
sticks
that
in my
week,
mind.
It really just like from Patty's podcast to the post fight. I feel like it made Patty just
Yeah, it's felt.
decline for everybody.
Yeah, I feel like his hype train really ended right there, like big time. It felt
And then
like
he got hurt too.
yeah, and he's had surgery, so this big ass layoff. I mean, if he comes back and he wins, he has the potential to still like skyrocket in stardom because he's just a character. And but the shit with him like asking for money to do interviews, like no one liked that. Like everybody hated that, and then him thinking he won the fight. But I don't know. I need to go back and rewatch that one to be real because I can't remember if I had a like clear opinion on that fight of who I thought won, if that makes sense. But
Yeah, but I still got Bobby on this one. I just feel like Bobby. I don't know. I just feel like he's a bigger name than Jared, and
yeah,
I don't know.
you just have a
I don't
feeling
know
he
much about
wins.
both, but I've seen more of Bobby.
How's he gonna win?
I get him as knockout. I
Knockout
think I
it.
have him as a knockout in the last round.
The last
Don't know
round?
how. Don't know why. I feel like it's either a knockout or a decision.
Yeah, for
I still think he's
Bobby.
gonna win.
Yeah. I could see that happen as well. I'm going with Bobby. I don't know exactly how he wins. I'm probably a decision. I see that. I don't know if Jared Gordon's ever been finished. I keep wanting.
Well, didn't he fight
I wish I had a
Holloway?
whole stat board about both fighters just in my face to make it easy to see this. He's been knocked out 4 times or TKO'd. Jared Gordon been subbed once, so he could get finished. But I could see Bobby Green just like piecing him up and talking shit for 3 rounds, just messing around with him. Uh, so we'll both take Bobby Green. The first fight that we both take the same fighter. And then I do not know how to pronounce the first name of this next fighter. I think it's Eastman.
Yasmin?
Eastman.
Lucinda?
We'll just Lucindo. It's Lucindo versus Brogan Walker, and Brogan Walker was on Tough. I don't know if you watched the last Tough season. Did you?
Mm-mm.
With Pena and Nunez.
I've heard Brogan. I've heard the name Brogan Walker before.
Yeah, she was on that show, and then I think she's had a fight in the UFC after that as well. But uh, she hasn't looked too hot as of late. I think, or at least she lost her last fight. I'm pretty sure. And this last chick, she lost, or Isman or Lucindo lost her last fight as well, but she's super young. I think she's like 22,
Yeah,
but
21 right now.
21. In her fight though, her last fight, she looked amazing. Like the fight was awesome for even how young she was and how she didn't have that big of a name. Like they put her on like a main card, I remember, and everybody was like, "Why'd you put these two people that we've never seen before on a main card?" And then it showed out. Like they put on like, and they got fight of the night. I'm pretty sure. Like it was a great fight, and I think coming off of that loss and losing a decision from that fight, I think will you usually bounce back better from your losses unless you're like on the end of your career. And I think that's what we're going to see here with Lucindo. I think she's going to put on a performance and probably get a finish. What do you think?
Yeah, I was gonna go with Lucindo as well, or Lucinda, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
I was going with her because I saw that she's from Brazil, and I know these women from Brazil in the UFC are some like Andrade,
Yeah.
whatever her name is. They're some killers.
Yeah, there's some mean
And I saw,
women.
yeah, she's way younger than, not way younger. She's younger than Brogan, and I just think I don't know. It's like one's at the beginning on the rise, one's probably at the top of their game. So I'm gonna go with Guessman.
Nice.
Guessman.
So we got 2 fights where we pick the same people and 2 fights where we go against each other. Moving on to the very last fight of the main card, Jeremiah Wells versus Matthew Semmelsberger.
Melsberger.
Do you remember when Jeremiah Wells fought Blood Diamond and at the beginning of the fight he like ran off to the side all weird and like fell?
I think so. Is that where you see him he's running like that,
Yeah.
like trips sort of?
Right at the beginning of the fight.
I watched Blood Diamond fight. That was
Yeah.
so long ago. I feel like.
Yeah. But it was in that fight, it was like Blood Diamond's debut. Like, that's how the dude came out. He just ran off to the side and then tripped. He ended up winning the fight, I think by sub. I think he choked him out, but it was just weird. It was very weird. Who do you got in this one?
I got Jeremiah Wells, and the reason being is because I saw Smellsburger's picture, and he just looks too goofy.
He just looks goofy.
That, Wells is fights out of Renzo Gracie, like his gym. I just feel like, I don't know, good gym. Look against a goofy guy. I think the cards will line up for him.
This fight, it was absolutely hard for me to pick. When I was making my Verdict picks, which I don't know if y'all use Verdict, but it's like a fantasy app for MMA. I picked when I usually I'll like make my picks quickly and then I'll like go back and redo them and like after I've studied them a little bit more, but I'll like do my gut feeling first. And when I got to this fight, I didn't even make a pick yet because I just don't know who's gonna win. This one's hard, and the odds makers have it as that as well. It's a pick 'em fight. They're both at -110. So the reason that I'm gonna go against you on the Jeremiah Wells one is stats, really. Stats and experience and strength of schedule, essentially. Like Jeremiah Wells he's gone against Court McGee and Blood Diamond in his last 2 fights, which Court McGee is kind of on the end of his career, and Blood Diamond, that was his debut in the UFC, and Jeremiah Wells had already been in the UFC and had UFC experience, so that probably played a factor in that one. Matthew Semmelsberger has gone against Jake Matthews, Alex Morono, and AJ Fletcher in his last 3 fights, which are they're not super big names. If you're a hardcore, you know who those guys are, and they're both all 3 of those guys are talented dudes. But he's coming off a decision win, while Jeremiah Wells is coming off a knockout win. But the reason why I'm picking Semmelsberger is when I say stats is because one, he has a inch longer reach and he's younger, and with both of those combined, it's like almost a 70% chance those guys win. And on top of that, the experience he has against the dudes he's recently fought compared to Wells, I think will play a factor just of the level of competition he went. So that's it for them. We can move to the swing slips. You want to hit to start them off, your Kobe crazy pick to start them off?
All right, this one's not as crazy just because I don't really have too much knowledge on these guys. So I got.
It's got to be 1,000 though. Is it over a plus 1,000?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So I got a 4-pick parlay. Jeremiah Wells to win by submission, or Matthew Smellsberger to win by a KO or KO DQ.
Yeah.
Another one of that parlay. Well, the
Say,
Jeremiah Wells or
say the odds of. Okay, yeah. You got it.
And then the next fight, I got Bobby Green versus Jared Gordon. Exact method of victory, a decision, and that's for -225.
I like that.
The next one I have is method of victory. It's Brad Tavares to win by KO/TKO DQ for +300. And my last one is Survey Pavlovich to win by KO TKO DQ +175. It's a grand total of a +3,077 odds.
What was the last leg?
+175.
But what was the
total?
No, like what was like the outcome that you picked?
Sergey Pavlovich to win by a knockout, basically.
Okay. I like all four of those legs. I don't want you to change it. I want you to keep that
I've
still.
already placed it.
Exactly. I want you to keep that still for your Kobe crazy pick. But I think all four of those could hit besides the Brad Tavares one by KO. I think if he wins, it's going to be like by sub or decision.
Mm-hmm.
But if he does get a knockout, that's where you find like
That's like the make
the
or break
diamond
pick, basically.
the diamond in the rough, bro. That pick is
It's kind of like what was it? That fight a while ago where Cody Garbrandt was supposed to win
yeah.
by submission, and
And
he almost had
he
two
took his
chokes
back. Yeah, he had his
or
back.
something like that.
Yeah,
Oh my god,
that one hurt,
that
man.
was like the make or break. Like if that hits, everything else is hitting. It's one of
Yeah,
those.
yeah,
Is what I'm feeling.
yeah. Because he's fighting a guy who has 19 KOs and has never been knocked out. But like I said, crazier things have happened, and that guy is on the end of his career, so could happen. Uh, I don't have a bunch of or I don't have all of my what is it called, swing slips, but because I'm not gonna do a slick pick on this one, I don't think you can do anything slick on this card because you kind of got to like I don't know, not necessarily like bet straight up outcomes, but bet smart. And when it comes to betting smart, that's hard to do, especially with MMA. So, my lock of the night is Isamin Lucindo. I think she's gonna beat the brakes off of Brogan Walker. I will take that price at even minus 400. Even though that's a high line, I still think it's gonna cash. So we'll do $400 for 100.
Isn't Usman's brother on this card?
Yeah, and he's actually my underdog of the night. So
He's not on the main card.
no, he's on the prelims. Yep, kind of crazy. But speaking of him, I'm glad you brought him up. He's my underdog of the night. He's a plus 100 to Justin Taffa, and I'm surprised that the odds makers put him at underdog, unless they know some shit that we don't know, which that's definitely a possibility. But I'll take 100 for 100 with Muhammad Usman. And then we got Brad Tavares by sub as my prop of the night instead of knockout. So either way, I feel like you kind of hedge me. We just really got to hope Brad Tavares gets a finish in some way. But he's plus 1,000 by sub, so that's a big reason why I took him as well. So you risk $100, you'll win 1,000. And then my 3-fighter parlay, which is my last swing slip, is basically my lock of the night and my underdog of the night, plus Selmosberger, the guy going against Jeremiah Wells. I think, and that gave me plus 377 odds, which I kind of like the line on that one a lot. So risk $100 for 377 right there. And I hope I do good this week, or at least even decent and go positive, because it has not been a good year to start out with betting, man. It's been quite rough. I don't know about you. I've watched your brother's podcast, a Slightly Daily. Shout out to them. Uh,
Wow.
they were talking about betting and how they had like a good streak or something, and then it seems like you'll bet like 3 legs on a parlay and only 2 will hit, or like you'll bet 7 and only 6 will hit. Like you get so close to cashing out and then they just don't. And that's the addicting part, is that you get so close to cashing out that fat parlay that pays out a lot of money. So, what was the odds on your crazy pick again?
3,077.
That's nice. $100 for $3,077. That'd be nice. You got any closing thoughts for us, my man?
Drink your water.
Stay
Floss
hydrated.
your teeth.
Eat your veggies.
Veggies.
Pick your chin up.
You need more fiber in your life. Keep your chin down in the fight.
Chin down in the fight, but chin up when you're out. Attitude high.
When you're out. Attitude. Toothpicks in the thumbs or in the knuckles of the glove.
I appreciate everybody for watching and staying tuned. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.